Let's go with Denver and Atlanta. Let's talk about Matt
Yeah,
Ryan.
let's go with Drew Lock. Yeah, let's talk about Denver, shall we? What the fuck did I say last week? What the fuck? Don't I tell you people? Oh my God, Denver on the up. Oh, they beat San Diego / Los Angeles Chargers. They beat the Bolts. Drew Lock is amazing now because he had one fourth quarter comeback. So what did I say they would do? They would turn up, they would fucking get behind early, and they would not be able to make up the thing. And the only thing that got wrong was the fact that they kind of, I think they covered the spread just. Well, no, they didn't cover the spread because they were favourites. So even then, I mean, I had them losing by about 15. So whatever, they covered my personal spread. Well done, fucking idiots. Terrible on defense, terrible on offense. Drew Lock, right, had a great fourth quarter again. Had too much to do this time around. Atlanta were able to hold firm. A lot of that has to do. Here's some of the upset people. Jerry Jeudy, overrated. Too small, too lightweight. Just because he's from Alabama, right? Everyone's like, oh, fucking, yeah, roll tide in my fucking pants. Like, great. But he's too small and he's too lightweight, and their cornerbacks abused him. You know, he picked up some good receptions. He's a very talented athlete, but he doesn't have the credentials of a world-class wideout. If I look at like all the all-time great wideouts, whether you're going back to Jerry Rice or coming further forward to someone like Megatron, you've got to have some height on you. You don't have to be a fucking monster. You've got to have height. AJ Green is a good example of that in his prime. So many of these guys, even Odell Beckham Jr., you've got to have a fair amount of lankiness to you. And he doesn't have that. And I think he struggles when it comes to taking on premium cornerbacks. It is his first season, so I will be relatively easy on him for now. But right now, what I'm seeing is not a premium number one wideout. I think Cortland Sutton is a better player than him when he's fit to play. I think he's a better wideout. I think he makes much more exciting throws. So I would have Cortland Sutton at the WR1 position, WR2 for Jeudy, which is fine. Absolutely fine. That's no problem. Kind of a mute point if your quarterback can't get the fucking ball to them when it matters, though, is it? Mr. Drew Lock, who, do you know what, right? Pros and cons. Pros, lovely kid, clearly a nice guy. Good attitude. He's a fighter, you know? He tried his hardest to get back to it. However, cons, and these are the big ones. What have I been saying since day one? IQ wins at this position. You must have a high IQ to be an elite quarterback. He does not have a high IQ. He sees an open cornerback and goes, would you like the ball bath? And he throws it to him. You know, he makes bad decisions. He makes bad throws. And what he does is he throws under pressure. Okay, and this is something that Daniel Jones, what he is a very talented version of Daniel Jones. And that's not good enough. He is not, again, it's sad to say, give it a couple of years, Drew Lock will be another guy sitting around on somebody's bench being a backup or a third-string quarterback, which is what the Broncos do now. Where's Trevor Siemian? Somewhere, God knows where. Brett Ripien will probably end up fucking working in a dumpster before the end of this season. You know, this is not... John Elway has lost his mind. It's astonishing, isn't it? One of the all-time great. A lot of people would have John Elway in their top 5 all-time great quarterbacks, right? Missed the clutch in Denver. 2-time Super Bowl champion, multiple appearances in AFC championships and Super Bowls. And yet, ever since Super Bowl 50, he has not been able to tie down a quarterback with any credibility. Brock Osweiler, massively overrated despite his size. I was really excited about him because you saw his size. Not only that, he was called Brock. I thought he was going to go off like no one's business, like a lad from Minnesota. Unfortunately not. So many guys have flattered to deceive from that position. Trevor Siemian, Drew Lock's coming, Brett Ripien's had a go. You know, fucking Egypt himself, Flacco. Joe Flakjacket comes in and fucking takes a battering like he did last season, and people are looking like, well, he played quite well tonight. Yes, and he still lost in the one game that he's played to a reasonable standard in 3 or 4 years. The reality is that Denver are going nowhere until they work out 2 things. We need a premium quarterback, and we need offensive linemen badly. The tackles especially are not good. They do not protect, like, you know, so maybe Locke might play far superior when he actually has guys in front of him who know how to block, as opposed to a bunch of fucking candy cane munching motherfuckers who don't fucking move. These guys, someone tell our offensive linemen how to strafe. The idea, right, the concept is that once the ball is snapped, you have to move left, right, not like, oh boy, they all fucking got arthritis. Useless. Absolutely useless. So it's a bad team. It's a bad team that is picking up some surprising results. But then again, right? Look at all three actually of the Broncos' victories. Okay, the Jets. Come on, me and you and a bunch of fucking riffraff on the local quickie mart could probably take the Jets to overtime, right? We've got the Chargers, right, which is a good win, but they had to come all the way back and ultimately got Justin Herbert, right? As soon as he gets any remote amount of weaponry, they're going to be a dangerous team. Dangerous. And he's every game, it feels like he is so desperate to win the game for them, and the rest of his team let him down. And I feel bad for him in that perspective. And, you know, the Chargers is one that is a good talk about for this weekend. And then, of course, the Patriots, who we field goaled to death. There was nothing on offense other than the field goal kicker. So, yeah, do you know what? Give the field goal kicker the quarterback money and just don't bother. Put him in quarterback. Fuck it. You know, luckily, we haven't got Timmy the retard coming in just yet. It's not quite that bad. The Jets, you know, maybe a little bit different, or maybe Make-A-Wish Washington after they let me down again. Let me down, Washington. But do you know what? This is a poor season again. It's another below 500 season for the Broncos. And when it's all said and done, you know, if we get 6 wins, I'll actually consider that quite impressive. But if you look at our schedule, nah, probably doesn't look like it's going to happen. Teams like the Raiders, the Chiefs, they've got to play them again. They're going to fucking pick us apart. You know, those guys have infinite. Whether you like Carr or not, he can put up points. And anyone who can put up a remote amount of points, as we saw with Matt Ryan, boom. You know, Justin Herbert put up points against us. The only reason we got the win was because keep calling them San Diego Chargers, always be San Diego Chargers. I mean, the Los Angeles Chargers basically had 0 on defense. They couldn't stop us. That's the only reason. Drew Lock had to play out of his skin to get one come from behind win. Congratulations. You know, whatever. He was good in the fourth quarter of this game. You know, good running touchdown. Picked up a few receptions. Jerry Jeudy, he seemed to find him a little bit more, but without a credible wideout, you know, with Cortland Sutton being injured. And the other thing as well, didn't target Noah Fant. What the hell are you doing? He's the best skill player in terms of catching the ball. He's the guy who can haul the ball in under. He's on you, Emmanuel Sanders, to a certain extent. He's the guy who will haul it in under an immense amount of pressure from the defense. And he barely targeted him. Barely found him. And that's really disappointing. So, yeah. Anyway, next game.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Denver. You pissed me off. See you next time.